Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think what I've learned along the way is it's not a guiding hand that gives you all the answers. It's a
Mm,
guiding hand that allows you to make sometimes big mistakes. Um, it doesn't take away the human experience of learning from trial and error, but it gives you a sixth sense or a new intuition that you can add to your normal senses, which after a while, when you begin to see the pattern, you realize that there is an intelligent force behind everything. Um, I have extrapolated from that. I don't believe things happen randomly anymore. It's been too coincidental. There's been too many synergies in my life, or synchronicities, should I say, for me now to recognize randomness. And to some extent, it also has made me understand a different idea of what free will is. That actually, in my experience, that the free will that I thought was free will was actually something that made me suffer much more.
mhm,
And that the Kundalini has given me a sense of free will without time and space, so that I can, at certain moments in my life, look at myself and recognize that everything has happened and everything's already happened and nothing's happening at all. And there's an equanimity in that moment. So when I come back from that experience, it might take me years to integrate that experience into my life, but it also gives me a lot of comfort. Whereas in the past, it might have given me a lot of fear.
mhm,
And so it's been an interesting journey of recognizing that there's a fundamental force behind all things, and that fundamental force is actually good,
mhm,
even though my pain and suffering from Kundalini is painful and suffering. Actually, underneath it all, there's a rationale and a love. There's a deep love behind it all,
mhm.
which is really difficult to articulate to somebody who's new to the journey and who's suffering a lot because of what they're going through.
Can I just say I totally agree with that. I was trying to say that earlier, didn't put it very well. When I was talking about what at a time seems like real pain is actually in the longer is actually underneath benevolent because it's part of the whole process of moving forwards.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. It's like the universe is conspiring to help you realize yourself.
yeah, yeah. But the Kundalini has brought me. I may have not noticed it before, and now through trial and error and learning a new language of the energy in me, I can now understand there's a pattern to a lot of the seemingly randomness, which is not randomness anymore. So it's a strange journey. But the positive is that I find it harder and harder and harder, although I can still do it to hate or to fight or to want to hurt. I mean, I still can get to that point, but I can begin to see, okay, well, there's another side, there's another perspective, or there's another side to my own perspective, and I need to kind of reverse my own opinion and see their position. And I think this is one of the great things of the journey, is that it's given me that way of thinking about things.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's like, you definitely hit the nail on the head in terms of, if we were to measure growth, which I think that's maybe problematic in and of itself, but because it's not really, we don't want to think about it as if we are bad and we need to improve. But if we're growing in compassion or love, then that's a good indicator that you're on the right path. Like, I think that in itself, like if you have more capacity for forgiveness, more capacity for love, more capacity for compassion, then that's a good signifier, like of how you're doing. Maybe you have to go backwards a bit to go forwards. I don't know, but I think that's definitely an important thing to process with going through this experience or steer towards.
I mean, yes, two very quick, pretty irrelevant points. I mean, John Lennon did say all you need is love, and I think he was right. The other thing is little. I said this to Samin before. Little visualization I've always had is that, well, the idea that when a higher dimension comes into the third dimension, everything gets split up. So imagine like light hitting a big diamond and getting reflecting into all these small little pieces, but on a higher dimension they're all one. I think love is the pieces coming back together again.